Good morning, dear guests, and a warm welcome to the Queen Elizabeth Hall. Before we begin, may I ask you to ensure that your mobile phone is turned off or set to silent so that the ceremony may proceed in a serene and undisturbed manner. In the meantime, the academic procession has arrived together with the dignitaries and our honorary guests. So may I ask you to stand for their entrance. Thank you.
That we are fighting, that we fought for our humanity, that we were here, that we said no, that we gathered.
2 out of 3 children who light up just one cigarette becomes a daily smoker.
Om de risico te bepalen van chemicaliën en microplastics heb je eigenlijk heel veel informatie nodig.
We have had a kind of tendency in education that we measure how much students learn, not how they learn.
It is my solemn duty to report on the worst of what humanity is capable of.
Good morning to all of you gathered here in this magnificent Queen Elizabeth Hall, and to everyone joining us via the live stream. My name is Greet Samin, and it is my privilege to bid you all a warm welcome to this academic session. Today, the University of Antwerp awards its honorary degrees. to people who make this world a better place. They provide an answer to the challenges we face today. They bring hope, a fresh perspective, and confidence in what lies ahead. We are also witnessing a historic first today. In a unique collaboration, the University of Antwerp, Ghent University, and the Vrije Universiteit Brussel will jointly confer an honorary degree for general merit upon Francesca Albanese, human rights lawyer and United Nations Special Rapporteur on the occupied Palestinian territory. We shall be introducing our honorary doctors to you in more detail shortly. But first, I would like to invite the Rector of the University of Antwerp, Herwig Leers, here to the stage to offer a word of welcome.
Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests in all your titles and capacities, and dear soon-to-be honorary doctors. The awarding of honorary degrees is always a special occasion, but this year even more so. It gives me great pleasure to welcome you to this magnificent Queen Elizabeth Hall, because in a moment 4 leading international scientists will be awarded an honorary degree by the University of Antwerp. And after that, as you already know, the University of Antwerp, Ghent University and the Vrije Universiteit Brussel will jointly confer the honorary degree for general merit. In particular, I would like to extend a warm welcome to our doctors honoris causa in spe. Your presence here is a great honor for our university. Each and every one of you is a leading figure, a role model, an inspirator, an innovator. You make a difference. You're also dedicated individuals, people for whom science comes first. And today, we celebrate you. This is one of the highlights of our academic year, a moment when we shine a spotlight on excellence, commitment, and impact. By awarding honorary degrees, we also build bridges between the university and society. And that is why it's symbolically important that today we aren't gathered in a lecture hall on campus, but in a venue at the heart of the city. Our honorary doctors demonstrate how knowledge can contribute to concrete solutions and progress, benefiting society as a whole. The recognition of these outstanding individuals confirms the importance of independent thinkers in a democratic society. We need such people now more than ever. We must emphasize the importance of science and evidence-based knowledge in every possible way, on every platform and at every opportunity. Not only when scientists meet amongst themselves at symposia or conferences or in scientific journals. These turbulent times, they call for science, they call for scientists. The awarding of our honorary degrees, therefore, is not just a moment of recognition for eminent colleagues, but also an opportunity to share knowledge and insights with a wider audience. All honorary doctors have given or will still give a masterclass, sharing their expertise with students, researchers, and professionals. And this underlines a core value of our university. Science doesn't take place in an ivory tower, but is a dynamic force that contributes to society. Ladies and gentlemen, I gladly invite you to join us in enjoying this inspiring moment and to discover the achievements and stories of our honorary doctors. I wish you all a wonderful and enriching ceremony.
Thank you for your opening word, Rector Lees. We shall now proceed to the official conferral of our honorary degrees. And the first honorary degree is awarded to Dr. Wanda de Kanter. She was nominated by the Faculty of Medicine and Health Sciences with Professor Philippe Lardon as nominator. Dr. Wanda de Kanter is a Dutch pulmonologist who dedicated many years of her career to patients with lung cancer. Over time, however, she has evolved into one of the most influential voices in the public debate on smoking and health, and particularly the role of the tobacco industry within that debate. Her mission to realize a smoke-free generation is profoundly inspiring. Let us take a moment to learn more about her work in the following video, after which we will listen to the Laudatio by Professor Philippe Lardon, followed by a word of thanks from Dr. de Kanter herself.
Graag eren wij Dr. Wanda de Kanter, longarts en publiek figuur in Nederland, met een eredoctoraat van de Faculteit Geneeskunde en Gezondheidswetenschappen voor haar uitzonderlijke bijdrage aan de volksgezondheid, haar onvermoeibare strijd tegen de tabaksindustrie en haar aanhoudende inzet voor een rookvrije generatie. En zij heeft zo een heel grote maatschappelijke impact als arts, als auteur en eigenlijk ook als activist.
2 out of 3 children who light up just one cigarette becomes a daily smoker. Half of them will die due to a tobacco-related disease.
Zij heeft zich jarenlang ingezet voor de behandeling van patiënten met rookgerelateerde ziekten, onder andere longkanker. Maar intussen overstijgt haar werk de grenzen van de kliniek. Als medeoprichter van Tabak Nee en rookpreventie jeugd speelt zij een cruciale rol in het agenderen van tabaksontmoediging op nationaal en internationaal niveau. In Nederland werd ze uitgeroepen tot een van de meest invloedrijke vrouwen. En ze werd ook koninklijk onderscheiden met de graad van officier in de orde van Oranje Nassau. We weten al meer dan 60 jaar dat roken extreem ongezond tot zelfs dodelijk is. En toch roken vandaag, zowel in Nederland als in België, nog steeds 1 op de 5 mensen. In die beide landen vallen er ook bijna 2 vroegtijdige overlijdens te betreuren per uur ten gevolge van het tabaksgebruik. En het wordt nog erger als je hoort dat er ook elk uur 2 jongeren beginnen met die dodelijke gewoonte. Deze medische en sociaal-maatschappelijke ellende moet stoppen. En collega's zoals Wanda de Kanter hebben voor een omslag gezorgd. Haar acties zijn bijna letterlijk levensreddend. Zij heeft het publieke debat veranderd. Zij heeft jongeren beschermd. Zij heeft beleidsmakers beïnvloed. En zij heeft de tabaksindustrie ter verantwoording geroepen. Het is een sterk en een ruchtbaar signaal dat we met een Belgisch eredoctoraat een Nederlandse collega omarmen om samen over de grenzen heen te zorgen voor eindelijk een rook- en vapevrije generatie.
You can make the difference. Please stand up now.
Morning. With this honorary degree, the University of Antwerp's Faculty of Medicine and Health Sciences wishes to pay tribute to chest physician Wanda de Kanter in recognition of her exceptional contributions to the public health, her tireless fight against the tobacco industry, her unwavering commitment to a smoke-free generation, and her societal impact as a healthcare professional, as an author, as an activist. Wanda de Kanter has dedicated many years to treating patients with lung diseases, particularly lung cancer, and today she has become one of the most powerful voices in the public debate on tobacco addiction, and especially in the role of the industry therein. Her mission is clear: to achieve a smoke-free generation. And she pursues this not only through medical channels, but also through media appearances, publications, lectures, social media, and legal and political advocacy. Her societal impact has been widely recognized. She was honored by different awards, including the European Smoke-Free Award, the Muntendam Prize from the Dutch Cancer Society, and the Global Lung Cancer Coalition Journalism Award. She was entitled as one of the most influential women in the Netherlands, where she was also awarded a royal decoration. And this year, she will be honored with the prestigious Elsborst Lifetime Achievement Award, following nomination by the Dutch Association of Female Physicians and the Medical Women's International Association. Her contribution to the public discourse has had a strong influence on political decisions regarding tobacco prevention in the Netherlands, in Belgium, in Europe, and beyond. Moreover, she is an inspiring example of moral leadership, and in a time when commercial interests often outweigh public health, she dares to speak against powerful industries, lobbies, and policymakers. Her work reflects integrity, courage, and the persistent pursuit of a healthier and more just society. Geachte collega de Kanter, beste Wanda, met het toekennen van dit eredoctoraat eren wij niet alleen jouw tomeloze inzet, maar streven we samen naar het bredere ideaal van een samenleving waarin gezondheid, preventie en rechtvaardigheid centraal zullen staan. Laat dit een sterk en ruchtbaar signaal zijn dat we met dit Belgisch eredoctoraat jou als Nederlandse collega omarmen om samen over de grenzen heen nog daadkrachtiger en sneller te zorgen voor eindelijk een rookvrije generatie. En dat doen we samen voor onze kinderen, voor onze jongeren. And for these reasons, I respectfully request that the Rector honor Wanda de Kanter with an honorary degree from the University of Antwerp.
On the recommendation of the Faculty of Medicine and Health Sciences, and by decision of the Executive Board, the University of Antwerp confers upon Dr. Wanda de Kanter, pulmonologist, tobacco control advocate, author, speaker, and political influencer, the degree of Doctor Honoris Causa in Medicine and Health Sciences, in recognition of her exceptional contributions to public health, her tireless fight against the tobacco industry, her unwavering commitment to a smoke-free generation, and her societal impact as a healthcare professional, author, and activist. En het diploma. Alsjeblieft. Nu worden de foto's getrokken.
"15 seconden zijn veel te weinig om te vertellen hoe waanzinnig veel ik van je hou en hoe enorm trots ik op je ben dat jij nu ook eredokter bent. Geweldig!
Lieve Wanda, we zijn super trots op je! Gefeliciteerd!
Dat jij nu een eredoctoraat ontvangt in Antwerpen is meer dan verdiend. Van harte gefeliciteerd en dank voor wie je bent.
Lieve mama, lieve Wanda, gefeliciteerd.
Lieve Wanda, wat ben ik ontzettend trots op jou. Dat wij oudjes, nu al bijna 54 jaar in het Antwerpse wonen, mee mogen maken dat je een eredoctoraat krijgt van de Unief in Antwerpen.
Een grote proficiat, Wanda, voor wat jij ook internationaal hebt weten te bereiken.
Wij, en dat zijn 65.000 artsen en geneeskundestudenten, zijn ontzettend trots op je. En je bent een enorme inspiratie voor ons hoe je omgaat met de antiroken.
Ruim 20 jaar geleden kwam je bij mij als verslavingsarts om je te informeren hoe het toch zat met die tabaksverslaving. Toen kon ik je nog wat leren. Inmiddels ben je uitgegroeid tot een van de grootste bestrijders van de tabaksindustrie. Zo trots op je.
Hartelijk gefeliciteerd met jouw eredoctoraat. Heel erg verdiend en van harte gegund.
Dit is zo prachtig en zo goed. Daar zijn we heel erg trots op.
Gefeliciteerd Wanda, dit is zeer verdiend.
Van harte gefeliciteerd met je prachtige eredoctoraat, zeer verdiend.
We zijn zo apetrots op je vandaag. Niet alleen waarvoor je vandaag gelauwerd wordt,
maar vooral om wie je bent als mens. Als trouwe vriendin voor ons als zusje. Wanneer je bent een wereldtopper.
One minute, 30 seconds. That's all. I'm sorry. Distinguished Rector, esteemed members of the University, honored guests, colleagues, family and friends, I'm deeply honored to receive this honorary doctorate. My sincere thanks to Professor Dr. Philip Lardon and to the University of Antwerp for this recognition. I also want to thank my fellows of our foundation, Youth Smoking Prevention and Tobacco No, for their courage and persistence. I accept it with gratitude and with a deep sense of responsibility. Today, I dedicate this honor to the patients I have met and treated over the years, and to the families who have lost someone they loved because of tobacco. Behind every statistic, there's a human life, and a family that will always carry that preventable loss. For a moment, I felt like we were truly turning the tide. We almost did. But the tobacco industry returned with new addictive products, vapes, heated tobacco, supported by a powerful lobbying and carefully crafted misinformation. In my masterclass at the university, I will discuss the 40 racketeering tactics of the tobacco industry, the strategies used for decades to delay regulation, undermine science, and protect profits. In a world full of wars, this fight might seem small, but it's not. This century alone, tobacco addiction will cause 1 billion premature deaths. Allowing children to grow up in health is not a privilege, it's a human right. And so, we continue the fight for a tobacco-free generation. The end game begins when tobacco policy is finally free from tobacco industry influence that profits from addiction and death. Thank you very much.
Warmest congratulations on your honorary degree, Dr. de Kanter. The next honorary degree is awarded to Professor Noura Erakat. She was nominated by the Institute of Development Policy and nominated Professor Gert van Hekken. Professor Erakat's expertise spans international humanitarian law, social justice, and critical race theory. As a legal scholar, she is a prominent researcher in the field of Palestinian legal and political issues. The honorary degree will be presented later in this session by Rector Leeler and Professor Nathalie Holvoet, Chair of the Institute of Development Policy. But first, I invite you once again to join us in watching this video, which will be followed by the laudatio by Professor Gert van Hekken and an acceptance speech by Professor Erakat.
Noura Erakat is een juriste die baanbrekend werk op academisch niveau heeft gedaan en tegelijkertijd is zij ook een mensenrechtenactiviste, een mensenrechtenadvocaat en een publieke intellectueel.
That we are fighting, that we fought for our humanity, that we were here, that we said no, that we gathered, that we had no fear.
Het werk van Noura Erakat is cruciaal, vooral in tijden waarin de internationaal recht zichtbaar afbrokkelt door selectieve toepassing, waarin de straffeloosheid en massaal geweld eigenlijk meer de norm dan de uitzondering is geworden. En in die zin biedt zij ontzettend belangrijke handvaten om dat niet alleen te kunnen benoemen, maar ook om daar alternatieve vormen van verzet aan te kunnen koppelen. Vanuit haar feministische en decoloniale benadering, waaronder TWAIL, Third World Approaches to International Law, laat zij zien hoe dat internationaal recht niet alleen verdere onderdrukking kan legitimeren, maar tegelijkertijd ook handvaten kan bieden voor sociale en politieke strijd. En wat dat haar zo bijzonder maakt, is dat ze dat doet op een zeer academisch onderbouwde manier, maar die tegelijkertijd ook heel publiekelijk toegankelijk is voor mensenrechtenorganisaties, voor sociale organisaties, voor activisten. Via haar publieke analyses en platforms zoals Järvelä creëert Noura Erakat ook ruimte voor kritische stemmen van en over het Midden-Oosten buiten dominante westerse kaders. En op die manier probeert ze ook heel duidelijk te maken hoe dat Palestina geen complex conflict is, maar een vorm van kolonialisme, van onderdrukking, van apartheid en genocide.
That Israel has no right to self-defense against territory that it occupies.
En ik vind het ontzettend belangrijk hoe dat zij aantoont en eigenlijk zegt: gebruik internationaal recht wanneer het uitkomt, wijs het af wanneer het schaadt, maar vooral laten we kijken hoe dat we internationaal recht constant kunnen aanpassen, zodat het altijd gebruikt wordt voor sociale en politieke emancipatie. En ik denk dat op dit moment meer dan ooit Noura Erakat een ontzettend belangrijke stem is, niet alleen van verzet, maar ook van kracht en van hoop. En ik denk dat we dat meer dan ooit nodig hebben. En daarom vind ik het zo belangrijk dat we haar een eredoctoraat aan onze universiteit geven.
Today we honor Professor Noura Erakat, whose work has fundamentally reshaped how we understand international law and its relationship to the profound injustices of our times. Her scholarship does more than interpret the world. It equips us to challenge and transform it. Through her groundbreaking work, most notably her book, Justice for Some, Law and the Question of Palestine, Professor Erakat shows that international law is neither neutral nor benign, but rooted in histories of empire, colonialism, and racial domination. Yet she refuses both cynicism and blind faith, insisting on using law, despite its limitations, as a terrain of struggle, one that can entrench domination, but also create openings for meaningful change. Her impact extends far beyond academia. As a fearless public intellectual, she shows that the struggle in and for Palestine is inseparable from the struggles of other peoples worldwide. From Turtle Island to Sudan, from Lebanon to Palestine, she reveals how systems of domination are interconnected and how struggles for freedom and equality must be as well. In doing so, she restores the true meaning of solidarity, not as a gesture, but as a shared commitment to dismantle oppression in all its forms. On a personal note, Noura, your voice has been a source of clarity and courage for so many of us, not least for our students. Your work challenges us not only to think differently, but to take responsibility, to confront injustice where we stand, and to imagine and help rebuild a more just world. Your scholarship, your voice, your example are truly sui generis, exceptional and profoundly necessary. When words falter, we are called not only to witness, but to name, to confront, and to refuse silence and erasure. In that refusal lies resistance. In that resistance lies hope, the enduring pursuit of dignity, freedom, and justice for all. Your work insists on that possibility, reminding us that liberation of Palestine and of all those who struggle against oppression is not only necessary, but possible, and a responsibility we all share. We therefore also extend this honor as a commitment that celebrating your work must go hand in hand with acting upon its implications. For these reasons, I request that the Rector honor Professor Noura Erakat with an honorary degree from the University of Antwerp.
On the recommendation of the Institute of Development Policy and by decision of the Executive Board, the University of Antwerp confers upon Professor Noura Erakat, Professor of Africana Studies, Professor of Criminal Justice, Rutgers University, New Brunswick, United States of America, the degree of Doctor Honoris Causa in Development Studies, for her sustained and exemplary contributions as a legal and social justice scholar, human rights attorney, and public intellectual, and for her rigorous and decolonial analysis of international law and international humanitarian law, along with her unwavering commitment to justice and reparation, which have advanced a critical understanding of the legal and political dimensions of the Palestinian struggle.
مبروك نورا كتير فخورين فيكي بترفعي الراس دايما. Sending you lots and lots of love من فلسطين.
1,000 congratulations. We are so proud of you, like always.
Thank you for empowering all of us, Noura. And if we can learn one thing from you is how you can bring it all together.
Love you, Noura. Congrats.
ألف مبروك حبيبتي نورا. You are a guiding force and an inspiration for many of us, and we're grateful to be doing life alongside your brilliance.
The University of Antwerp is recognizing what so many of us have known for a long time, that you are a true gem.
I want to congratulate my sister friend and comrade in struggle, Noura Erakat.
Mabruk, Dr. Noura. Congratulations.
There you are, bringing heart and passion and reason and all of your fine knowledge of law and justice to the public world, becoming for many one of the truly courageous leaders of our time.
You're so deserving of this honorary degree and all of the flowers that the world bestows upon you, for the love, the passion, and the brilliance that you dedicate every single day to realizing a free Palestine and the end of suffering for all people all around the world.
Hi Noura, I'm so happy to see you receiving this recognition. Your voice, your work and your integrity have meant so much to so many people. Your leadership and brilliance are a testament to all that it is to be Palestinian. It's a privilege to know you, to learn from you and to call you a friend. Congratulations.
Huge congratulations, Noura, and may you continue to inspire many in the struggle for a different world.
Mabruk ya Doctora, on such a well-deserved recognition. In 2.5 years of genocide and interminable grief, and for many, many years before, you've been, for me and for so many others, an anchor of analysis, a pillar of bravery, and a model for finding light in the midst of darkness. We are all so lucky to learn from and labor alongside your brilliance, your insight, and your relentless commitment.
Mabruk Noura, hi Naya.
Sabah al-khair wa assalamu alaikum. Thank you. Thank you for this tremendous honor. It's really surreal to be receiving such awards on such platforms at a time when my Palestinian sisters the world over are being punished and in some cases hunted by the state. Like Hala al-Khuzandar, professor of electrical engineering at the Islamic University in Gaza, who despite relentless scholasticide that universities have been complicit in, continues to teach her students. And she tells us, for me as a teacher, continuing to teach in those moments was deeply emotional, but it reminded me that education can give students strength, hope, and the feeling their future has not been taken away. Like the pillars of Birzeit University, professors Rita Jakaman, Islah Jad, Rima Hamami, who continue to teach as their campus is raided by occupation forces and its students are held at checkpoints prevented from reaching their classes, and others are kidnapped in the middle of the night. And also my sisters across the Shatat, like Nardeen Kaswani, who just evaded an assassination attempt, and Dr. Rahma Al-Adwan, who was taken into custody for the 5th time for her booming voice for liberation. I dedicate this doctorate to them and to all my Palestinian siblings across the globe who have insisted on teaching the world about a future without siege or war, without dungeons or racism, without patriarchy or Zionism. To all our siblings who struggle with us to forge a decolonial future, like the faculty and the students who made this honor possible today, together with our ancestors who lived and died in struggle, we together have earned this doctorate. Mabruk, and thank you. Thank you to all the faculty, again, and students here in the university who continue this struggle, because this is all of our responsibility. May you continue to boycott and to divest from all apartheid and genocide until Palestine is free. Finally, thank you to my parents, Nahla Erakat, Saleh Erakat, and Asmahan Rishi, and to the family I have built in this lifetime, the anchor of which are Naya Asmahan Haddad and our beloved Dr. Bassam Haddad. Thank you for your dedication to love and liberation.
My warmest congratulations to you too, Professor Erakat. On to our next honorary degree, which is awarded to Professor Sanna Järvelä, one of the most influential voices in the learning sciences. She was nominated by the Faculty of Social Sciences, with Professor Piet van den Bosse serving as the nominator for this honorary degree. Professor Järvelä is a Finnish educational scientist who specializes in themes such as self-regulated learning and AI in education. Her research tackles a central question: how do people learn, and specifically, how do they learn together? And how can we support that learning more effectively? Her recent work on artificial intelligence and its impact on learning is both highly timely and socially relevant. Professor Piet van den Bosse will share further words of praise in the following video, followed by the official conferral by Rector Leeler and Dean Sven de Maier, and after that, the acceptance speech by Professor Järvelä.
De faculteit Sociale Wetenschappen heeft dit jaar het genoegen en de eer eigenlijk om Sanna Järvelä voor te dragen als eredoctor aan deze universiteit.
We have had the kind of tendency in education that we measure how much students learn, not how they learn.
Dat is een groot genoegen omdat Sanna Järvelä al heel lang een soort van leidende figuur geweest is in de leerwetenschappen. En de leerwetenschappen is een tak van sport die zich bezighoudt met het proberen begrijpen hoe mensen leren. En vooral ook na te denken hoe kunnen we dat leren verbeteren. De vraag die ze nu stelt, hoe artificiële intelligentie samen met al die interessante leerdata die we verzamelen, mee kan vormgeven aan het verbeteren van het leren van leerlingen, studenten en professionals, zijn voor ons alle redenen om dit doctoraat toe te kennen. Haar onderzoek is niet alleen fundamenteel sterk, methodologisch innovatief, maar vooral dus ook toekomstgericht. Het onderzoek van Sanna Järvelä is bijzonder omdat zij de stap gezet heeft van niet enkel individuen te gaan bestuderen, maar vooral de vraag te gaan stellen hoe mensen, leerlingen, studenten samen gaan leren. En zij is dat gaan onderzoeken op een methodologisch innovatieve manier. Niet enkel de klassieke vragenlijsten, maar gedragsgebaseerd onderzoek waarbij ze gaat gaan kijken naar audio, video, maar ook verder de vraag gaat stellen hoe bijvoorbeeld eye-tracking, oogbewegingsregistratie of fysiologische maten een inzicht kunnen geven in de leerprocessen. In het onderwijs maakt men zich meer en meer zorgen over de impact van artificiële intelligentie op de ontwikkeling en het leren van de studenten.
How do we keep balance between human group power and AI power?
De sterkte van het onderzoek en de vragen die Sanna Järvelä stelt, is dat zij de vraag omdraait. En vraagt hoe kan artificiële intelligentie ons helpen om het leerproces te ondersteunen. En de combinatie van de rijke data die haar onderzoek in kaart brengt, samen met de kracht van de processen van artificiële intelligentie, geeft ons de mogelijkheid de regulatie van leren te gaan ondersteunen. Dus om studenten, professionals, betere leerders te maken. Wat ook typisch Järvelä is dat het zoeken naar antwoorden op deze vragen geen werk is van één discipline. We moeten mensen samenbrengen, wetenschappers uit verschillende disciplines, leerwetenschappen, computerwetenschappen, datawetenschappers, psychologen, om grip te krijgen, inzicht te krijgen in de vragen en tot betere oplossingen te komen.
Thank you. Very happy to be here. With this honorary degree, the Faculty of Social Sciences of the University of Antwerp pays tribute to Professor Sanna Järvelä for her pioneering contributions to the learning sciences. Her work has transformed our understanding of how groups coordinate learning. By introducing the concept of socially shared regulation, she revealed how collaborative learning succeeds or fails. Equally remarkable is how she has embodied collaboration in her own academic practice. Throughout her career, she has actively brought researchers together, most visibly during her presidency of EARLY, where she strengthened the international learning sciences community. Her research group is renowned for its warm, open, and collaborative spirit, a place scholars feel welcomed, supported, and encouraged to grow. Professor Järvelä has reshaped not only what we study about learning, but also how we study it. She championed the use of rich multimodal data, audio and video recordings of real learning situations, eye tracking to capture attention, and psychophysiological signals that reveal underlying processes. This methodological innovation allows us to observe learning with unprecedented depth and precision. The infrastructures she built to enable such research and the standards she set have inspired research communities worldwide. At the University of Antwerp, her approach was instrumental in shaping our own Antwerp Social Lab, enabling deep behavior-based analyses of interactions and learning. For all these reasons and many more, I respectfully request that the Rector honors Professor Sanna Järvelä with an honorary degree from the University of Antwerp.
On the recommendation of the Faculty of Social Sciences and by decision of the Executive Board, the University of Antwerp confers upon Professor Sanna Järvelä, Professor in Learning Sciences and Educational Technology, University of Oulu, Finland, the degree of Doctor Honoris Causa in Social Sciences for her pioneering work on collaborative learning and the development of the concept of socially shared regulation, for her innovative use of behavioral and physiological data to deepen our understanding of group learning processes, and for her leading contributions to AI-driven tools that enhance learners' ability to guide their learning.
Congratulations, dear Sanna, my academic wife, for receiving this long-deserved and well-deserved eredoctoraat from the university.
Do you remember beating me in this dance-based video game many years ago when I visited Oulu? You also bet me at becoming president of EARLY, and now you're receiving the honorary degree at the University of Antwerp. What can I say? But my heartfelt congratulations. Herzliche Glückwünsche, Onea.
Dear Sanna, when I came to Oulu, you gave me the fastest keys of my life. But that's not the reason why you get this doctorate. It's for the entire work that you have done to make school simply more effective.
Dear Sanna, I'm so proud of you and delighted to congratulate you. I admire your dedication to science and value you as a trusted and supportive colleague and friend.
Dear Sanna, congratulations to this very well-deserved honor that you're receiving today.
Congratulations, Sanna!
Congratulations on your honorary appointment, and thank you for showing to us what collaboration and social regulation really means.
Dearest Sanna, congratulations. I'm so happy to hear that you're receiving this honorary degree. Working with you as a collaborator, a colleague, and a friend has been an absolute privilege for me.
You've been an inspiration to many of us, and you've been a real good role model for the field. Enjoy this fantastic day.
Warm congratulations to you, Sanna, from all the way up here. Couldn't be more well deserved.
Rector, esteemed colleagues, distinguished guests, dear friends, I'm deeply honored to be recognized by this distinguished academic community. My work has always been grounded in a simple but powerful question: how do we learn together and increasingly with technology? Over the years, this journey has been shaped by inspiring colleagues, students, and international collaborators. This recognition, therefore, belongs not only to me, but all those who have shared this path, inspired and challenged my thinking. At this moment, I am reminded of a thought inspired by the Finnish writer Mika Waltari. And always remember, hold this in your mind. Only a little schoolgirl standing on the lowest step of a staircase, soaring into dizzying heights, understanding almost nothing yet. Those wondrous, vertiginous steps, the stairs of knowledge. Especially now, in the age of AI, the staircase seems higher than ever, and perhaps even more wondrous. Learning and education empowers us and gives hope. My warmest thanks.
Congratulations, Professor Järvelä, and thank you so much for joining us here. Our next honorary degree is awarded to Professor Juliet Leeler. She is internationally recognized as a leading authority in the field of environmental toxicology. Her research has had a profound impact on our understanding of environmental pollutants and their influence on both human and ecological health. This honorary degree is conferred by the Faculty of Pharmaceutical, Biomedical and Veterinary Sciences, with Professor Dries Knapen serving as the nominator. Professor Knapen will deliver the laudatio shortly, followed by the official conferral with Rector Herwig Leers and Dean Peter Bols. But first, let us learn more about Professor Leeler's groundbreaking work in the following video.
Professor Juliet Leeler is als hoogleraar toxicologie verbonden aan de Universiteit van Utrecht. En zij is een van de meest inspirerende en toonaangevende onderzoekers in het domein van de milieutoxicologie.
Om de risico te bepalen van chemicaliën en microplastics heb je eigenlijk heel veel informatie nodig.
Milieuvervuiling is een heel erg complex probleem, omdat de mens, dieren en het leefmilieu tegelijkertijd worden blootgesteld aan milieuvervuilende stoffen, terwijl elk van die organismen op een andere manier reageert op die stoffen en ook een andere gevoeligheid heeft daarvoor. Zij heeft daarom een heel unieke One Health aanpak ontwikkeld, waarbij ze die verschillende domeinen samen bestudeert in plaats van elk afzonderlijk. En op die manier kunnen we de milieurisico's veel preciezer en nauwkeuriger inschatten en kunnen er ook veel betere en accuratere milieubeschermingsmaatregelen ontwikkeld worden die echt effectief werken in de realiteit. Professor Leeler heeft baanbrekend werk verricht naar hormoonverstorende stoffen en meer specifiek de metaboolverstorende stoffen. Stoffen die bijvoorbeeld een rol spelen bij of een impact kunnen hebben op de ontwikkeling van metabole aandoeningen zoals diabetes en obesitas. Zij heeft heel nauwkeurig ontrafeld welke mechanismen zich daar afspelen in cellen en weefsels wanneer we blootgesteld worden aan dergelijke stoffen. En op basis van die inzichten heeft ze dan instrumenten, assays, testmethoden ontwikkeld die gebruikt kunnen worden om chemische stoffen te testen, de veiligheid van die stoffen te testen op dat vlak. De maatschappelijke impact van het werk van professor Leeler is bijzonder groot, want ze heeft instrumenten ontwikkeld die ook effectief ingezet kunnen worden in het beleid en in de regelgeving. En ze heeft op dat vlak een enorm indrukwekkend netwerk uitgebouwd, zowel op Europees niveau als op het niveau van de individuele Europese lidstaten, wat ervoor zorgt dat haar inzichten en haar testmethoden ook effectief geïncorporeerd worden en ingezet worden in het beleid.
So let's take care of the next generation by continuing this research, by continuing what you're all doing.
Het is zo dat de Europese regelgeving met betrekking tot de veiligheid van chemische stoffen op dit moment erg aan het veranderen is. Dus we zitten eigenlijk in het perfecte tijdsgevricht om de nieuwe inzichten en de nieuwe instrumenten die zij heeft ontwikkeld ook effectief in te zetten in die nieuwe regelgeving, zodat we uiteindelijk effectief kunnen komen tot een meer geïntegreerde veiligheidsbeoordeling van chemische stoffen, waarbij het hele leefmilieu, inclusief de mens, inclusief de dieren en inclusief de natuur, beschermd kan worden. It is a privilege and an honor to stand in front of you today on behalf of Vrije University's Faculty of Pharmaceutical, Biomedical and Veterinary Sciences to celebrate and to pay tribute to the exceptional scientific achievements and societal impact of Professor Juliet Leeler. Throughout her career, Professor Leeler has focused on understanding the complex environmental origins of disease with a particular emphasis on endocrine disrupting chemicals. In a very unique way, her work embraces the intricate interconnectedness of human and environmental health, making her a leading voice for the One Health paradigm in modern toxicology. Professor Leeler is among a select group of pioneers who have reshaped 21st century toxicology by uniting three core principles. First, advancing fundamental insight into how environmental pollutants cause adverse effects across different species. Second, developing and promoting innovative test methods to reliably study these adverse effects, ideally without relying on animal testing. And third, designing testing strategies that are effectively taken up into European legislation, resulting in better protection of the environment. While many researchers in our field contribute strongly in one or perhaps even two of these domains, very few of them are able to truly unify human health, animal health, and the health of their shared environment within one single toxicological framework that really drives meaningful regulatory change. Professor Leeler's work has inspired a generation of scientists in the fields of toxicology and ecotoxicology, including myself on many occasions. Through her continued advocacy for the One Health approach, she provides a vital conceptual framework that can help to address the grand environmental challenges of our time. Environmental pollution, but also climate change and biodiversity loss. For these reasons, I respectfully request that the Rector honor Professor Juliet Leeler with an honorary degree from the University of Antwerp.
On the recommendation of the Faculty of Pharmaceutical, Biomedical and Veterinary Sciences and the Department of Veterinary Sciences, and by decision of the Executive Board, the University of Antwerp confers upon Professor Juliet Leeler, Professor of Toxicology, Head of the Division of Toxicology, Institute for Risk Assessment Sciences at the Faculty of Veterinary Medicine, Utrecht University, the Netherlands, the degree of Doctor Honoris Causa in One Health Toxicology for her groundbreaking contributions to understanding how exposure to environmental contaminants affects human and environmental health, and to the development of innovative methodologies to predict and prevent harmful exposures.
12 years later, the legend returns. After becoming a professor at the VU, at Brunel and at ERAS, she's now getting an honorary degree at the University of Antwerp. The audience is thrilled.
Congratulations, Juliet! Again!
Who would have thought that when you were a child collecting all those tadpoles and worms and leaving them in our basement, that it would result in this?
Juliet, your enthusiasm and energy is inspiring a lot to us, as well as your scientific achievements really makes it that you deserve this honorable degree.
On behalf of all partners of the VSP for Safety project,
we congratulate you with your honorary degree at the University of Antwerp.
Huge congratulations, Juliet. Receiving this honorary degree is a well-deserved recognition. You are an inspiring colleague and friend. Cheers. Un abrazo.
Congratulations, Julie, for being rewarded for all your hard work. You really, truly deserve this.
I can't think of anybody more deserving than you after all the hard work you've put in over the last few years. You make me proud to be a member of the Leeler family.
Hi, Auntie Julie. Enhorabuena. Congratulations for this incredible achievement. Love you lots.
You know, ever since you were a little kid and you used to play with worms, I knew that you were different, but I could have never imagined how far you would get. Julie, I'm so proud of you and everything that you've accomplished. Congratulations for this achievement.
Wetenschappelijk inzicht, leiderschap en engagement. Je hebt het allemaal en nu nog dat welverdiende eredoctoraat. Goed gedaan, knap.
Hi sweetie, congratulations with your honorary doctorate. We're so happy to be celebrating this together with you as a family.
And we're so proud of you. We love you so much.
Yes, Juliet. It's so well deserved, this honorary degree. It's always a pleasure working with you professionally and not only socializing with you. Huge congratulations from Denmark.
Congratulations, Juliet! We are proud of you! Woo!
Thank you. Thank you, Professor Knaap, and thank you, Faculty of Veterinary Medicine here at University of Antwerp. And thank you all for this wonderful honor. When I was a child growing up in Canada, I would play in the forest behind my house, and I was in awe of nature. I've always been in awe of nature, and I've always wanted to do something to protect this beauty, this natural beauty that makes us all feel wonderful. I never thought that this would be the way that I would contribute to the world, but I'm so, so happy that it has worked out this way. My achievements, I would like to honor my mother and father. My father was somebody who was extremely disciplined and worked very hard, and would say to us as children, I will provide the atmosphere and you go for it. My mother was warm and kind and a diplomat. I think these characteristics of my parents are all mixed up in me. I have become a scientist and a leader who's ambitious and wants to change the world, while at the same time being warm and kind is the kind of leader that I want to be. And thanks to the University of Utrecht, where I started about 8 years ago, I was given every opportunity to pursue this kind of leadership, to be the kind of person who brings people and disciplines and sectors and generations together, to be a connector, to be a role model for facing the challenges that our world is addressing and facing together at the same table, rather than polarizing and pointing fingers. I hope that this message that I want to change our environment, save this beautiful planet, one step at a time, together, is something that has come across to everyone I work with and to my entire family. I am very, very grateful for the wonderful team that I work with in Utrecht, for my extended network of colleagues, and for my warm, warm family that provides the never-ending support, in particular my dear, dear husband, Guus, and my wonderful children, and my doggy, Mando. Thank you so, so much, and let's keep up this work. All of these wonderful recipients are trying to change this world in a better way by working together, step by step. Thank you very, very much.
Many congratulations to you too, Professor Leeler. This brings this first academic session to a close. I would like to extend my heartfelt thanks to our guests of honor for joining us here. It's been a great privilege and an honor to welcome you here today. And I would also like to express a very special word of thanks to your partners who are accompanying you on this significant occasion. We have prepared a special bouquet of flowers for each of them as we deeply appreciate their presence here today. And maybe give them a round of applause. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Wanda de Kanter, Mr. Bassan Haddad, and Mr. Augustinus Lucassen. And finally, to all of you here in the audience, thank you for joining us today. We will now take a short break before proceeding to the second part of this morning's program. May I kindly ask you to take all your personal belongings with you, as we will be rearranging the stage during the interval. May I simply ask you to remain seated until the guests in the front rows have left the hall. We meet again after the break at 11 o'clock. Thank you very much. Good morning, dear guests, and a warm welcome to everyone joining us here and also via the live stream for this exceptional academic session. Today, the University of Antwerp, Ghent University and the Vrije Universiteit Brussel are for the first time jointly conferring an honorary degree. This honor is bestowed upon the Italian human rights lawyer Francesca Albanese. She will shortly receive this honorary degree for general merit in recognition of her exceptional commitment to human rights and international justice. With this joint honorary degree, the three universities emphasize their profound engagement with academic freedom, human rights, and international solidarity. This stems from a shared academic conviction that universities carry a social responsibility to defend fundamental rights, critical thinking, and international justice, especially and most importantly within complex and polarized contexts. To begin, it is my pleasure to give the floor now to the Rector of the University of Antwerp, Professor Herwig Leers, for a word of welcome.
Dear guests, dear honorary guests in all your titles and capacities, Your Royal Highness, dear colleagues, dear students, dear Special Rapporteur Francesca Albanese. It is my great pleasure to welcome you on behalf of the University of Antwerp, the Vrije Universiteit Brussel and Ghent University. We are very pleased to hold this celebration today in this beautiful and full Queen Elizabeth Hall, a place steeped in history in the heart of the city of Antwerp for more than a century. In other words, we are in a place where historic, meaningful moments have taken place before, and today we are gathered in this hall to be part of another meaningful moment. A moment with special focus on one person, Mrs. Francesca Albanese, United Nations Special Rapporteur on Human Rights in the Palestinian territories. Mrs. Albanese, I therefore extend a particularly warm welcome to you. It is a great honor for all of us that you have accepted our invitation. Today, for the very first time, 3 Flemish universities will jointly award an honorary doctorate. Our universities did not take the idea of collaborating on this lightly. For each of our institutions, an honorary doctorate is a special recognition. It's an expression of our appreciation for exceptional achievements that someone has made and continues to make in the scientific or societal fields. It is the academic recognition of someone's unwavering commitment and perseverance in bringing difficult matters to the table, analyzing them, articulating them, and continuing to emphasize them. And it is not a coincidence that the 3 universities came up with the same suggestion for a candidate, Dr. Honoris Causa, for general merit around the same time, and then decided to make this a joint award. Indeed, ladies and gentlemen, we find ourselves in extraordinary times, watching with dismay as the world order that has shaped the past decades undergoes profound change. Realities that once felt certain can no longer be taken for granted. And yes, war and conflict may well be of all ages, but we are now witnessing actions that we cannot and must not accept. Leaders of powerful countries scorn the United Nations. International treaties seem worthless, and human rights are constantly being violated. As universities, we cannot simply solve this, but we are aware of it and we wish to resist. Our scientists, staff, and students are putting pen to paper, engaging in debate with politicians, with us, and with each other. They speak up, and so do we as university leaders. Yet we must be honest with ourselves. No matter how committed we are, and no matter how loudly we raise our voices, our efforts alone are not enough to bring about the change that is urgently needed. Real impact requires people on the ground. People who see and hear what is happening, who witness realities firsthand, and who convey that clearly to leaders around the world and to society at large. In other words, we need people like Francesca Albanese. To us, Mrs. Albanese symbolizes every individual who continues to uphold the principles of the international order in these turbulent times. For us, honoring her work is honoring the work of countless others who share that commitment. Our perspective is therefore certainly broader than the Palestinian territories alone, although we do wish to recognize the depth and importance of her work in this region and in Gaza and the Palestinian territories in particular. Let it also be perfectly clear that this honorary doctorate is aimed at all efforts made to promote peace in the world across all communities. It is therefore not, certainly not intended against somebody, not against the Jewish community, not against Jewish or other organizations, not even against Israel. We are aware that misunderstandings about our intentions on this point have resulted in resistance and protests. And allow me once again to dispel such concerns clearly. Our intention is to honor this extraordinary woman and to convey a positive message to everyone in the world. Let us support one another and let us work together, united, towards a better world where human rights are valued and where international rules and agreements are respected. Some colleagues and students protest because they think we should undertake other actions than this one, or that we are inconsequent because we still participate in a few multi-partner projects where also institutions in Israel are involved. But perhaps, and we are convinced of that, we should focus more on the objectives that unite us in this matter than on the differences in how we think they can best be achieved, each from our own positions. All Belgian universities have already repeatedly reiterated a fundamental principle. Respect for human rights and democratic principles is the foundation on which cooperation in the framework of the European Association Agreement rests. If this foundation is systematically violated, it must have consequences. Otherwise, our European treaties risk becoming hollow words. Dear guests, esteemed honorary guests, dear Mrs. Albanese, together with you, I look forward to a warm, respectful, inspiring, and perhaps even hopeful ceremony. Enjoy this unique moment.
Thank you, Rector Les. Ms. Albanese, we're Miss Albanese, we're deeply honored that you've joined us in person here to accept this honorary doctorate. And we are also most grateful that you're willing to take the time for an interview now with journalist Inge Franken. I invite you and Inge to the stage now. Thank you.
Wow. What does it do to you when you hear all this support for your work, for your steadfastness?
First of all, hello everyone. Such a pleasure. Can you hear me? Yeah. I think my mic is not working.
I'll give you this one. So you can put...
Hello, everyone. It's such a pleasure to be among you. How does it feel? It feels overwhelming, and surely overwhelming is the love and the warmth that you demonstrate toward me, which I think is because of Palestine, because Palestine is a wound for so many of us, and it's also overwhelming because I'm used to confront policymakers who, frankly, throw all sorts of insults very often from this part of the world, not the rest. But like from witchcraft to being a threat to global economies, all of a sudden being embraced by such a reception is sort of heartbreaking. So thank you. At the same time. At the same time, I also want to pause and reflect in the critical moment that we are, that is totally represented, extremely well represented by what's happening today, where clearly I thank the universities and the rectors for such an honor. And still, this honor for me is an honor if it's true, if it's truthful and honest. So I feel somewhat puzzled by the fact that honoring me is to be accompanied by a justification to the Jewish community, because of course the Jewish community shouldn't feel endangered by someone who speaks human rights and wants to advance justice for the Palestinians, for the Israelis, especially those who stand against occupation, genocide, and apartheid. And again, I do not think that we can say this is not against Israel. Israel is an apartheid state. So this is the, I understand that people's heart changes faster than institutions, but this is where we need to move. We are in a transformative moment. It's not about reforming, it's not about embellishing what we have said. Partnership with anything that has to do with apartheid Israel is wrong and must be cut.
Okay.
And, you know, as a European, I feel really empowered from this wind of change that is giving us the opportunity to turn the page. And it's so powerful to say that from this country, from Belgium, given the colonial shadow that it keeps on casting on, not just on Congo, but it's so powerful to remember that we have a chance as Europeans to be different, to turn the page with the past. And for turning the page with the past, we cannot invoke European law to justify the violations of states' international obligations, to prevent, stop, and make accountable international crimes like apartheid and genocide.
Mm-hmm. Let me go on with one more question on that point, because you started being special rapporteur on the occupied Palestinian territories in May 2022. Since then, you have had threats. People are trying to silence you. You have sanctions against you from the United States. Did you ever thought it would be or become this intense and this personal?
I knew exactly what I was putting myself into, because as someone who has worked with the United Nations, including in Palestine, as someone who at a certain point of her life decided to move to the academia, thinking that this would grant more freedom and more independence, which it does. It does offer more independence than the United Nations, I can promise. But still, I've seen how much being connected to Palestine can bring havoc upon your life, because it's not even just about defending people's rights and the right of self-determination of a people which is vanquishing under a continuous, although camouflaged, colonial project. It's really standing against those who defend that power and that ideology that allows crimes to be committed. I am the special rapporteur. I need to make the point. I'm not just the special rapporteur on the Palestinian territories. I'm the special rapporteur on the Palestinian territories occupied by Israel since 1967. And this is how it's possible that a military occupation lasts for nearly 60 years, because it has been the word to camouflage the reality. It was a settler colonial project that has continued in what remained of Palestine, the West Bank, the Gaza and East Jerusalem. So I knew that I would put myself in the line, as it has happened to my predecessors, Professor John Dugard, Professor Richard Falk, and Michael Link. They've all been accused of anti-Semitism, but like the Pope and the Secretary General, and they've all been accused of supporting terrorism. Legal scholars accused of terrorism. I didn't expect to be sanctioned by a state. This is very serious, and there is nothing laughable about that. This is an attack of unprecedented proportions, because apart from the fact that I serve as a legal expert at the United Nations pro bono, I'm a human rights defender right now who's asked to monitor and document the violations committed by Israel in the territory that it unlawfully occupies. So I should be protected by the United Nations. And the most powerful state, the United States, which has twisted the arm of many in the General Assembly, and today the organization itself imposes sanctions and takes measures against me that transform me into a financial outcast. Apart from the fact that I cannot have financial transactions. Anyone connected to me that is a US person can be fined up to $1 million, can be arrested and be in jail for 20 years. This is me today. This is my life, which of course affects deeply my family. Did I expect this? No, but also because I would expect that the United Nations, the community of member states, would stand against anything that would be a threat coming from a state and not just by a bunch of minions who accuse anyone who speaks reason of, again, anti-Semitism and supporting terrorism. But here we are. And of course, these moves were about attempt to silence me. So far, it has not worked.
Okay, let's go to what you report on, because that is the main thing, of course. Very early after October 7th and all the military operations we saw in Gaza, you were one of the first persons to use the word genocide. Is it because you already saw at that moment the genocidal intent, or was it a warning to the world, or both?
I would not qualify what Israel did after October 7 as military operations, because it was from the very beginning something else. Because, you know, even in wars and even in occupations, there are rules. And Israel has crushed those rules, every principle that characterizes, that is the pillar of modern day post-World War II protection of civilians, the principle of distinction. You cannot target civilians. This is what Israel has done, precisely and ostentatiously. You have to take precautions before launching a military attack, which is precisely what Israel has not done. But also, you need, there must be a military necessity behind each operation, And there was nothing like this. What I've seen from the very beginning, a vindictiveness that targeted everyone. And I have to disappoint you. I've been among the special rapporteurs for the first 2-3 weeks, the most resistant one to use the term genocide, because like many Europeans, I have my own biases, my own chains, and so I was thinking that it would not be opportune. Now I feel ashamed of myself for having entertained that exercise. But it took me a few weeks, but I studied more. I gave full meaning to what I had learned being the definition of genocide, because the law, the normative framework can be quite abstract and dry when you learn it in this part of the world. Genocide means nothing, probably, to this part of the world. Probably. And I mean what I say, because even the genocide that we have committed on European soil has taught us very little. But when you talk to people from the global south, you don't have to lecture them. They don't even need to learn the definition of what genocide is, because genocide is something that remains inscribed in the DNA of a people for generations, and this is why the question of Palestine resonates so loudly and so deeply with the formerly colonized world and with indigenous people. But something that I now resonates like Cassandra words, something that I did immediately, 7 days after the beginning of the violent assault against Gaza, after words that are clearly genocidal had been used, like human animals. It's an entire nation responsible. We will cut water, electricity, food lines, and medicines. And it's after 1 week that I warned the international community. I said, and I did it as a scholar of Palestinian forced displacement. This is the thing that I know the most and the best in my life. I know how Palestinians have been displaced from even before the State of Israel was created, during the time of British colonial rule in Palestine. And this is why I said, under the fog of war, Israel is going to unleash or to produce or to cause the most significant ethnic cleansing in Palestine, or in what remains in Palestine since its very creation. And why? Because I saw the pattern. In 1 week, I saw the destruction of neighborhoods, of villages, of churches and mosques, and the orders to move, the words that were spoken by diplomats, not by the military. Yes, but the Palestinians can move somewhere else. Move somewhere else. Why should they move somewhere else? Because this is the ethnic cleansing of Palestine that is ingrained. It's ingrained in what Israel is and does. And every time Every time we refer to Israel as a Jewish state, meaning as a state for one and one only people, one and one only religion, we support that idea that actually the Palestinians are an unwanted encumbrance that can be removed. So this is what I saw, and this is what I said. Israel is going to destroy and to make sure that the Palestinians can never come back. How did I know? Because this is what Israel has done in 1947, 1948, 1949, destroying over 500 villages, expelling, kicking out, often at gunpoint and while entire villages had been killed, cleansed, and people, including minors, including girls, had been raped. So 500 villages were destroyed, 56 massacres were reported, 750,000 Palestinians at least were expelled outside of modern-day Israel. And it doesn't stop there, because these people were never allowed to return. But in 1967, Israel did the same. It occupied the West Bank, East Jerusalem, and the Gaza Strip, so what remained of historical Palestine, and destroyed villages, refugee camps that had become home to the Palestinians displaced in 1947-49, and made sure that these people would never return. And this is what has been ongoing since 1967. And I saw in the beginning of that violent assault against Gaza, the beginning of the end for the Palestinians, unless Israel is stopped.
You made many reports, Anatomy of Genocide, the economy of occupation to the economy of genocide. Last week, torture and genocide. Maybe explain on that again, the link between torture and genocide?
Yeah, first of all, how did I come to the realization that it was a genocide? Because genocide is not, there is no hierarchy among crimes. We tend, and wrongfully so, to learn and to talk, to refer to atrocity crimes as if they were a hierarchy. So, but they're not. They are, war crimes are violations of the laws of war. And crimes against humanity are crimes that can be committed outside of war, but they are systematic and widespread attacks against the civilian population. And genocide is something else. It's a series of crimes. So it's acts of killing, the infliction of severe bodily or mental harm, or the creation of conditions calculated to destroy. But what its characteristic is that at the receiving end is always members of a group, killing members of the group, creating conditions of life unsustainable for the members of the group, or inflicting pain and suffering to members of the group. So when these acts are committed, and they have been committed against the Palestinians for a long time, they indicate, they signal the possibility of genocidal intent, which is the determination through this act to destroy the group as such. And it's precisely what Israel has said. Israeli leaders have said, and have not been the first one to use this in an international institutional setting to talk about genocide. Because in fact, when I produced my report, Anatomy of a Genocide, which was just an X-ray of what Israel had done through 5 months of military operations that had killed 30,000 people, 80% women and children from the very beginning. This speaks to how indiscriminate this attack was. But they have said, I mean, they have referred, they've used language that indicated the intent to destroy, to turn Gaza bring Gaza back to the Middle Age, and to hold everyone responsible. So despite the fact that even the International Court of Justice in January 2024 had recognized the risk of genocide, the risk of irreparable harm for the Palestinians under the genocide in Gaza under the Genocide Convention, member states have pretended nothing was happening, have continued to entertain discussions and use semantic gymnastics to deny, not to ignore, to deny the genocide. Because, you know, ignorance is non-knowing, while denial is something else. It's a mixture of seeing and unseeing. And member states have, especially from the so-called liberal democracies, have decided not to see, to continue to say, it's not genocide, it's something else. Well, whatever it is, you have to stop it. And however, they have not stopped it, and the genocide continues. But however, I have documented, after denouncing this genocide, I thought the member state would understand. Not only they have not understood, they have let what they even call today the Gaza doctrine, meaning the destruction of everything, being exported to Lebanon, to Iran, something that I had predicted, and not because I'm a witch, but because I've studied what Israel does in the region, and what Greater Israel is about regional expansion, and is not even something future and uncertain, it's something that has happened already, has started for the past 20 years and more. So I've tried to articulate and give more context, say maybe people really don't understand. So I've explained that this genocide happens because it's part of a colonial erasure that comes from afar. Because as Lemkin, the Jewish scholar who has coined the term genocide, has taught us, genocide is a process, it's not an act, it doesn't happen overnight, it doesn't happen over 12 hours, and there are things like the targeting of the people, the Palestinians as such, mass killing, mass home demolition, mass torture, mass arbitrary arrest and detention. They should have awakened us. Now, and so I did arrive to document genocide as torture, because at a certain point, after spending 1 year documenting why genocide has not been stopped, because there are 62 states at least who continue to provide political cover to justify Israel, to deem that continuing to trade with Israel in the name of that shameful association agreement that the European Union has entered with Israel, it was already a shame. It was already shameful when it was entered. You know why? Because the hypocrisy is all in the words that have been used, and we have all been fooled. And today, at least we can say no more hypocrisy. How can you sign a clause that says this agreement can be rescinded in case of violations of human rights, while Israel has violated the human rights of the Palestinians since even before existing as a state? And in the occupied territory, Israel has ruled through military law. So this is the essence of apartheid, even if you don't want to see it. Dividing the population and the law applicable to the population on ethnic grounds, it's wrong, it's a crime, and it's called apartheid. And so I have documented the political, economic, financial, military support that member states continue to provide to Israel, maybe abiding by European law but violating international law, and also documented all the private interests that are connected to it. Because while the Palestinians are dying, are being genocided, and many Israelis are also paying the brunt of it. This is what I couldn't make sense. I mean, how come many parts of the Israeli economy were nosediving into a crisis while the Israeli stock exchange kept on rising? Now I know why, which is also the reason I've been sanctioned, so that I can be silenced and so that you can continue living in your Truman Show. But the thing is that there are companies that are profiting from the killing, the starving, the maiming, the torturing of a people. Today is the Palestinians. Today, who knows, is the migrants, the refugees among us, because Israel, over the past 2 years, with the support of so many, and has used Gaza, but also the rest of the occupied Palestinian territory, as an enhanced testing ground for weapons, for surveillance technologies, for spying people. Look at Palantir. Palantir is a company, I have documented it, so I know what I'm talking about. I've put Palantir on notice. And Palantir, instead of responding to me, has been whining with the US administration probably suggesting that I am a threat against global economy. Let it be, because the global economy today is made of health systems, like in the UK, purchasing what Palantir has developed on the extermination of the Palestinians in Gaza. I don't know you, but I don't feel comfortable in living in this world. And after all this, I had to go back to torture. I had to go back to torture because torture is the hallmark of this genocide. And trust me, because if we know how Israel has devastated, destroyed, pulverized, evaporated life in Gaza, we know very little of what has happened away from our eye, away from public scrutiny, where tens of thousands of Palestinians arrested and detained, often kidnapped, in the middle of the night, including children, women, elderly, journalists and doctors more than anyone else, have been arrested, beaten, shackled, blindfolded, beaten beyond what a body can hold. And this is why 100 of them have been reported killed in prison. But there are 4,000 people who have been apprehended, have been captured, and we don't even know where they are. Voila, one crime that was Israel had not committed yet, enforced disappearance. And now there are 4,000 Palestinians who are enforced disappearance, desaparecidos, like in Chile and Argentina 30 years ago. And so torture is a key feature of what Israel, its prison service, its militaries have done to the Palestinians in jail. Torture has been practiced vindictively against anyone, and the testimonies are overwhelming. I'm very happy that many famous people have joined a campaign I hope you will do the same, any of you. Let me carry your voice, where they allow to breach this omertà, this impossibility, who hear the voice of the victims, of the torture survivors, and reciting publicly their testimonies. But this is it. Israel, you can have torture outside the context of genocide, but genocide is torture. It's torture for those who endure torture, but it's also torture as part of a torturous environment, a concept that I've brought to Palestine, but in fact had been used by other lawyers and by psychiatrists who look at how torture impacts individuals. And so I say torture has been practiced on a large scale and is the feature of this genocide, because starving an entire population, forcing millions of people out of their homes, to be displaced over times and times again, to live in misery in a wasteland of rubbles and human remains. What is, if not a not intentionally inflicted form of collective torture?
You have all these crimes that we see. You have the settler violence with no accountability at all. You have the eviction of Palestinian families in eastern Jerusalem. Last week we had the reinstatement of the death penalty, let's say only for Palestinians. How come it's so difficult for the international community to act upon it? We hear condemnations, but we don't see actions. Why is it so difficult?
I wouldn't say the international community. We need to make a distinction. Because in fact, if the situation is so bad, I wouldn't say it's because of the West versus the rest. I am Westerner, and many of the students who have recognized that this was a genocide before anyone else are from this part of the world, and to those students I say thank you, because you show that we can improve. I mean, we are not naturally born colonizers, and this is another discourse. I will touch upon it in the masterclass. But the thing is that there has been a rejection of genocide. This is, in fact, a revolutionary moment ignited by Palestine, because this is the first genocide that creates a global movement, a global conscientization, a global reaction. But look at what? There has been repression. repression in universities, there have been repression in the streets. I mean, I come from Germany. Germany, which I have admired for so many years for how it had dealt with the past, over the past 3 years has been steadily, through its police officers, been beating protesters, elderly people and young people like no tomorrow. Why? For protesting a genocide. So look at the paradox. Those asking for justice have been indicted, accused of terrorism, accused of anti-Semitism, accused of not respecting other people's sensitivity, while ICC wanted criminals like Benjamin Netanyahu have been allowed to fly over European space. And again, partnership with the very defense industry, defense system that has genocided, that is genociding the Palestinians, continue to flourish and be defended. So this is the problem, because complicity runs deep into the vein of today's world. And I would not even say just our liberal democracies, because there are also Arab countries today that partner with this design of protecting Israel, or countries from the global south. But this is why I think I want to focus on the silver lining, on the students, on the German activist, on the UK activist, on everyone who has not been silent, on everyone who has resisted and say, right now, I am not mine. I am not mine. I'm part of something bigger than me. Like I tell myself every day, of course I'm scared. Do you think I'm not human? Of course I'm scared. I mean, I come from a region which has been plagued by the mafia. And I recognize mafia behavior. So of course I'm scared. Of course I'm scared for me, for my family, but I also know that mafia and mafia-style intimidation techniques win only when they are met with silence. When there are people who manage to keep their back straight, not to be silenced into fear, this is when mafia starts crumbling. And this is what I feel part of today. A movement that says no to apartheid, no to genocide, no to impunity. And I see that that silver lining is becoming a tide that has the potential, if we continue selflessly and in a coordinated fashion, to change the world for the better. Because this is what we all need. If we don't get out of this genocide improved, it will be much, much worse for all of us, and we will regret not to have take action the moment we could still do that.
Is that what keeps you going? Are you still hopeful? I'm going to repeat that because we still hear international politicians talking about two-state solution. If you look at the map, it's going to be really hard. But is there an optimism inside of you? Is there a hope? What keeps you going?
Surely there is optimism, but there is more rage than optimism. Let's put it this way. And
so it's rage that keeps you going.
Sorry?
It's rage that keeps you going.
It's rage, but you know, we tend to think that rage is violence. Well, for me, rage is indignation. I've been dealing with politicians having these hysterical, bombastic reactions toward me for things I've not said, just for things that they have projected at me. And then I've been wondering what in me causes this lack of composure. What makes them go ballistic? And I think that it's this rage that clearly comes through my work that doesn't stop. I continue to call a spade, and unapologetically, I've learned from the Palestinians. I mean, this is something that I have to say because I've never had this voice. I've always had integrity, but I've never had a voice that I've thought could stand so strong and so audible. I wouldn't say loud, but audible. And I do have it because I've seen and how these people have been treated just for being in their land, just for loving their land as one can love his or her nursing mother. Because this is something I've understood. For indigenous people, and we might have forgotten that, but deep down, including us Europeans, have that. Those who have survived the Inquisition and those who have survived the many forms of ethnic cleansing that have happened in our continent. We seem to forget that. But Europeans were not born colonizers. They became colonizers through centuries of patriarchy, of power embodied by empires and the church. And this is how we became who we are, burning people like me on the public square for their insolence, for their knowledge, like heretics and others. So we are still, today is a moment of revelation. And I'm optimistic because I see that I'm not the only one. I'm not alone. There are millions of people who want the same thing, who want to get rid of they want to get rid of patriarchy, because eventually settler colonialism and apartheid are institutionalized forms of patriarchy. And in fact, look at how patriarchal was the language that colonialism has used. Civilizing mission. It's even written in the history of the United Nations and what's preceded it. Civilizing mission. Dispossessing people, killing and maiming and raping and turning them into slaves on their own land, it's something that we have predicated as civilizing mission. So today, there is still some remnants of it in Palestine and in other few places of the world. So it is to stop. And people like me are here to remind that today we also have a legal framework that, I agree with the criticism to international law, but there is one part of international law that is not been gifted to us. This is the conquest of people fighting against slavery, people fighting against racial discrimination, racial segregation, and apartheid, people fighting for the full recognition of women's value, virtues, role in the world, and rights. So this is why I'm so attached to human rights as a tool for emancipation. And this is what we need today. We need emancipation. We need to start questioning, including the epistemic violence that we have inflicted upon all of us, which is, let's be careful about the words we use. This is, again, words are trenches on which we decide to sit and from which we judge the world. But this is why today I say, if we have been scared of using the term genocide to name what Israel has been planting seeds for decades, it means that from the genocide that we have committed on this very soil, we have learned nothing, because it's the dehumanization of the other that starts with not seeing the other as human like us, that the genocide, in fact, starts.
Francesca Albanese, I think the three universities, Antwerp, Ghent, and Brussels, want to honor you for your straightforwardness, for your expertise. So congratulations on this honorary doctorate, and thank you for the talk.
Thank you. I hope the universities do not regret.
Compelling conversation. Thank you very much. Inge Wrange and Ms. Albanese. We will soon proceed to the official conferral of the honorary degree upon Miss Albanese with a laudatio by Rector de Sutter. But first, I invite you to listen to the 3 rectors who are also the nominators for this degree as they share their words of praise in the following video.
Francesca Albanese is een Italiaanse juriste en zij werkte al voor verschillende organisaties van de Verenigde Naties.
En in 2022 werd ze door de VN aangesteld als speciaal rapporteur voor de mensenrechten in de Palestijnse gebieden.
Als onafhankelijke expert brengt ze verslag uit over mensenrechtenschendingen in Gaza en elders. En zo brengt ze het menselijke drama dat zich daar afspeelt blijvend onder de aandacht.
It is my solemn duty to report on the worst of what humanity is capable of.
Als Universiteit Antwerpen geloven wij in de kracht van het multilateralisme, zoals het wordt uitgedragen door de Verenigde Naties. Dat is echt nodig om de mensenrechten en het internationale recht te vrijwaren.
Ook wij als VUB hebben altijd achter het internationale recht en de personen en de instanties die het belichamen gestaan.
Met haar goed gedocumenteerde en juridisch onderbouwde analyses zorgt Francesca Albanese ervoor dat internationale rechtbanken aan het werk kunnen. En voor de UGent vormt dat een van de absolute sterktes van haar werk.
Samen willen wij met dit eredoctoraat hulde brengen aan Francesca Albanese en de onvermoeibaarheid waarmee zij die taak vervult.
Gaza is now a wasteland of rubble, garbage and human remains, where survivors hold on to life amid widespread deprivation and disease.
We stellen vast dat sommige staten het internationale recht en de normen die het samenleven over grenzen heen regelen naast zich neerleggen. En die evolutie heeft nefaste gevolgen voor de huidige wereldorde en dreigt te leiden tot een wereld waarin enkel nog de wet van de sterkste geldt.
Dat is wat zich in Palestina heeft voltrokken als reactie op de verschrikkelijke terroristische aanslagen van 7 oktober 2023. Reageerde Israël met buitensporig geweld tegen de Palestijnse bevolking. En tal van internationale waarnemers hebben dit vastgesteld en volgens een onafhankelijke VN-onderzoekscommissie gebeurde die reactie met een genocidale intentie.
Aspecten als dialoog, waar de VN voor staan, en onafhankelijke expertise, zoals het werk van Albanese, sluiten nauw aan bij de kernwaarden van onze universiteiten. Ook academici hebben de vrijheid om alles te onderzoeken en daarbij ideeën te laten botsen, met één gezamenlijk doel voor ogen: waarheidsvinding.
Francesca Albanese is zelf onderwerp van een verhit debat. Critici verwijten haar activisme en menen dat zij de polarisering in de hand werkt. De meningen over de laureaat mogen uiteraard verschillen en niet iedereen zal zich in die beslissing kunnen vinden. Het debat daarover willen we dan ook niet schuwen.
Als universiteiten staan wij niet buiten de samenleving, maar er middenin. Als wetenschappers omarmen wij twijfel, zoeken wij de grijstinten in discussies en proberen we het zwart-wit denken te overstijgen. Daarbij stellen we ook onszelf als wetenschappers voortdurend in vraag.
Ook Albanese durft toe te geven dat ze fouten maakte. In haar boek Wanneer de wereld slaapt erkent ze dat eerdere formuleringen terecht kritiek kregen en ze benadrukt het verschil tussen antisemitisme en kritiek op staatsbeleid. Albanese benoemt, onderbouwt en moedig de wantoestanden, maar ze toont daarbij ook het nodige zelfinzicht.
Het is die bijzondere combinatie die ons ertoe brengt haar vandaag te eren.
distinguished guests, colleagues and students, and Special Rapporteur Francesca Albanese. Today, 3 universities are jointly awarding this honorary doctorate. And this is exceptional, yet in many ways also a logical outcome of the close friendship between our institutions. We are united in many respects, and we share a common perspective on key societal issues. And one such example is our shared commitment to a fair and nuanced public debate grounded in reasoned and evidence-based argumentation. Francesca Albanese provides well-documented and legally substantiated analysis, and her work informs the deliberations of international courts, while her voice also reaches and engages a broader public. She serves as a special rapporteur at the United Nations, and such experts are appointed to investigate a specific thematic issue or country situation and to report their findings to the UN Secretary General or the UN Human Rights Council. And at present, special rapporteurs are mandated for 13 different country situations. In all these contexts, human rights are under serious threat. And when the appointment of a special rapporteur is deemed necessary, it is almost inevitable that the resulting reports and their far-reaching conclusions will be contested. Dear guests, this is, and we heard it, exactly what Francesca Albanese is experiencing today. She has been subjected to discrediting campaigns and accused of anti-Semitism. Her critics employ, among other tactics, fake news, manipulated video fragments, and statements taken out of context. And as a result, truth gets distorted, while so-called alternative facts continue to circulate and gain traction. Mrs. Albanese works under immense pressure. She faces attempts at boycott, but she continues her mission with perseverance and integrity. Respect for international law and for human rights has been the common thread throughout her career in various international organizations. Today, that legal framework is under severe strain, not only in the occupied Palestinian territories. Now, for our 3 universities, Francesca Albanese embodies the struggle for human rights and international law, values of fundamental importance that the United Nations must continue to uphold. Without international law, only the law of the strongest prevails, with disastrous consequences. And for her exceptional dedication, Mrs. Albanese deserves both our recognition and our support. Many colleagues and students who share these values have joined us here today, and thank you for that. Your presence is a source of hope, because together we reaffirm our support for multilateralism and for the guiding principle of peaceful coexistence among nations, and for addressing the challenges that arise from it. For all these reasons, Francesca Albanese is awarded the honorary doctorate of the University of Antwerp, Ghent University, and the Vrije Universiteit Brussel.
By decision of the executive boards of the University of Antwerp, Ghent University and the Vrije Universiteit Brussel, confer upon Mrs. Francesca Albanese, UN Special Rapporteur of the situation of the human rights in the Palestinian territories, the degree of Doctor Honoris Causa for general merit, in recognition of her exceptional commitment to human rights and international justice, in particular in her capacity as Special Rapporteur on the situation of the human rights in the Palestinian territories. In Antwerp, April the 2nd, signed by Rector Hedwig Leers, Rector Peter de Sutter, and myself.
I have a feeling of having spoken already too much, but I'm really glad to have some extra minutes to thank you all once again. It's really, I cannot describe how I feel right now because it's truly beautifully overwhelming. And I stand before you humbled and uneasy. Humbled by this honor that was conferred upon me by the University of Antwerp, Ghent University, and the Vrije Universiteit Brussel. I hope I did it. Yeah. At least I hope I didn't say any bad words. And uneasy, because this recognition comes at a time of profound pain and danger. The legal and moral framework made of norms and institutions built over the past 80 years with great sacrifice and dedication of so many is collapsing. That framework, imperfect as it has always been, emerged from immense destruction with a clear ambition to ensure that power would be constrained by the law and that no state or actor would stand beyond accountability. And while it has surely not protected everyone equally, it has so far protected many of us from the scourge of another world war. Today, that protection is being crushed. Rules are ignored or bluntly violated with unprecedented, ostentatious impunity. While some people die, others get enriched by death and misery, ostentatiously. Against this background, this honorary doctorate carries profound weight. Beyond a personal acknowledgement, for me, this is a statement that the pursuit of justice matters. In the last years, I've asked myself almost every day, how can we emerge from this moral abyss that Palestine, after a century of colonial violence and dispossession, physical, psychological, epistemic, so painfully epitomizes today? How do we rebuild a world in which law restrains power for real rather than serving it? How do we stop the normalization of injustice? And in this effort, I've looked at universities for possible hope. At times, universities have been spaces of obscurantism, where certain words have been effectively prohibited and critical thinking has been dismissed as ideological, or worse, as indoctrination of new generations. And Palestine and the rights of Palestinian people have often been treated as the red line not to cross in the name of avoiding sensitivities or, in fact, giving in to pressure. I wrote it before today, yeah? And at times, universities, despite this, I've also seen how universities remain places where civic conscience is formed and where change can begin. Students have been among the first to oppose what many states and their universities have denied,
the genocide of the Palestinian people, the brutality of the apartheid and illegal occupation imposed upon them by Israel each and every day in the past decades, not years. In the face of repression and intimidation, students have organized, spoken out, and refused indifference. Where institutions have often hesitated, they acted. They remind us of what universities must be, not museums of past struggles, but engines of present courage and change. To the institutions honoring me today, I say this: let this honor not be a gesture without consequence. Let it be the beginning. Because to recognize my work is also to recognize a people whose struggle has become a test of our collective integrity. And Palestine today is a mirror, a test of whether international law is universal or selective, whether human rights are principles or destined to remain privileges for some. It forces us to confront uncomfortable truths about colonial legacies that persist, about systems of domination that endure, often under the language of security and order. And here, in Belgium, symbol of a continent whose colonial past continues to cast a long shadow, where there were once kings, queens, and priests crushing people's self-determination, today there is a web of multinationals, military and extractive industries that exploit people and resources. This moment resonates deeply, and it suggests a willingness not only to remember, but to reckon and to take a stand. So to the rectors of these universities, Professor Leeler, Professor de Sutter, Professor Dankert, with heartfelt gratitude to you, I say, you have the power and responsibility to influence what your universities are. Producers of compliance or cultivator of critical thought, pipelines of power or spaces of universalism. This moment requires universities to stand as bulwarks against lawlessness and impunity, spaces where courage is protected, where knowledge serves not as domination, but liberation. We need universities that help shape a global ethical horizon rooted in law, dignity, and justice. Universities that contribute to a truly decolonized multilateralism. Universities that dare not only to imagine a different world, but build it. And as you welcome me into your community, I hope you do not regret already, I am here to build that with you. Not tomorrow, but now. Thank you.
Ms. Albanese, thank you. Thank you so much for your inspiring words. Thank you for being here with us, and I wish you a safe journey home. Thank you. Thank you all for being present here today. Following the ceremony, you're all cordially invited to the reception. But first, let us listen to our closing anthem, the fitting Ode an die Freude by Ludwig van Beethoven. May I kindly ask you to stand for this musical finale, and afterwards to remain standing until the guests in the front rows have left the hall. I wish you all a pleasant afternoon. Thank you.